it's Trevor with eTrailer. Today we're looking at our Class 3 eTrailer receiver on the back of our 2019 Nissan Rogue. Maybe you got a bike rack or a cargo carrier you plan on taking, maybe on a long trip, or maybe you're just going down to take like a quick bike ride, or you're going camping not too far from home. This would be a great option for you. It'd be able to hold 3,500 pounds of trailer weight and 525 pounds of tongue weight. Looks like we're gonna have about 10 inches of ground clearance on it, and it really doesn't come past the back of your bumper here, so you don't have to worry about hitting your shins on it at all. This will work with any standard pin and clip. There's not one included in this kit here, but a lot of accessories do come with them, and you can find them here by themselves at etrailer.com, as well as if you maybe have something you wanted to leave on there long term, we have a locking version of those as well. Now you will have 2 spots for any safety chains, and it also comes in this nice matte black powder coat. The installation on this was a little bit tedious. We did have to lower a couple things to get more access to put the hitch up. Once you have the hitch up in place, there's really not much to it. You just tighten your bolts down real quick, torque them down, then put the rest of the stuff back up, and you're done. If it sounds a little daunting to you maybe, we're about to jump into the install here so I can walk you through it. To begin our installation, we're going to go ahead and get the car up in the air, and we're going to go in here and remove the evap canister and the tow hooks. To give ourselves some extra room, we're going to go ahead and lower the exhaust down. This won't be required, but it's going to make it a lot easier when installing this hitch. To do that is take this rubber piece and push it away from this metal rod, and it will be easier if you put some penetrating oil on there or some kind of lubricant. And this exhaust hanger tool also does help quite a bit with getting that first part pushed off. Once you get that off, it just comes right off after that. All right, now there will be one last hanger here we're gonna have to pop off on the back side. Once you get past that first part, it becomes a lot easier to get off. All right, now that we have some extra room in here, we're gonna go ahead and remove some of the bolts holding up the heat shielding. And just like before, these are just gonna be 10mm flange nuts. Now that we got that heat shield out of the way, we're gonna get that last 10mm nut off for the and with that off, we're just gonna go ahead and tuck this out of the way behind our exhaust hangers here. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and get these 18mm bolts taken off. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and get those 18mm nuts off. And keep in mind, you're gonna have 6 total, so 3 on this side and then 3 on the other side as well. So if you do have a little bit of an older car, maybe hit it with some penetrating oil just to make sure like it comes out a lot easier. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get the last 18mm bolt off on the tow hooks here. All right, once we get that last 18mm nut out, tow hook's gonna come straight out, and then you're gonna set this off to the side. This will not be reinstalled later. We're gonna go ahead and enlarge this hole here, as we're gonna be feeding these carriage bolts with some nut plates through here into these 2 holes. And you just wanna take out just enough metal along this hole so you can get this plus a nut plate through. Just make sure your bolt goes up and fits in there. And as you can see, ours fits back up in there pretty well. Now we're gonna go ahead and get the hardware fished through the frame. Easy way to kind of get it to go through this hole after we fished it through the back. Kind of put it up against the hole here, line up with the middle, and then where my thumb is where you would make a bend, make it easier to get it fished through. Now we're gonna go ahead and put it through that back hole there. And there it is. Pull that out a little bit. And now we're gonna go ahead and put 1 block plus the carriage bolt on this fish wire. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and get the bolt in there as well. Give yourself a little bit of slack so that you can have room to push that up in there. And then we're just gonna pull the fish wire through until you line up that bolt and the block. All right, and repeating the same step, just find that, bend it there, kind of make that hook, feed it up in, and come out with it. Get it lined up, and you're good. All right, now that we have your bolts in place, we don't want that exposed metal there, so we're gonna hit it with a little bit of clear coat so that it doesn't rust or corrode over time. And we're gonna go ahead and reattach that emissions canister before we put the hitch up. To do so, all we gotta do is put that back over those studs. And use the existing 10mm nuts that we took off earlier, and just hand thread those on. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get those tightened down, and then move on to getting the hitch put up. All right, we're gonna push the heat shielding back up over these studs, and then thread on those 10mm flange nuts by hand. And on the left side as well now. And then we're gonna get those tightened down, but make sure you don't over tighten them. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and get our hitch up. You wanna grab a second set of hands. Then the next thing you wanna do is find the fish wire that goes to the corresponding bolts up top and feed that through your bolt hole here. And I put a bend in it so that once I get that through, it just stays in place and I don't have to worry about it ever coming back out. And once you have that taken care of, go ahead and get it put up, lined up. And I would suggest getting the weld nut put up first. If your bolts don't give you trouble, that is. So. All right, well, once you get that in place, that's started in the back here. Get that hand tight until can't tighten it by hand anymore. Then we're gonna go ahead and start the other two by hand as well. All right, once you have everything snug down, you're gonna torque it to the specified settings. And once you got your exhaust back up, that's all you're gonna need to do on your install. My name's Trevor, and thank you for watching my install of this eTrailer hitch receiver on the back of our 2019 Nissan Rogue Sport.